What's happening, everybody? TK here. TK and Drinks. Tuesday Night Live. Got another session going on like we do every Tuesday. About this time, 6 p.m. Phoenix time, 6 p.m. Arizona time. You know, that 5 Pacific, you know, whatever it is, 8, 7, 8 over there on the East Coast. I don't really pay attention to that anymore. But 6 o'clock Arizona time, and we don't change, so I stopped paying attention to everybody else. But glad to have everybody here tonight. People that are here live, thank you already for showing up. Cats that are here in the future that ain't watching me live, appreciate you giving me those views as well and giving me some of your time. As I said, my name's TK. This is TK and Drinks every Tuesday. I get up on the camera with y'all, drink a beer, do a little bullshitting about what's been going on in my life for the past week. Get a little inside what's going on behind the scenes at TK and Drinks. We crack a beer or two, we crack a meat open. Sometimes we interview some cats and pretty much just have a good old time drinking and talking and hanging out. So, again, thank y'all for being here. Tonight is no exception to the beers or the bullshit. We are going to be getting into my first one from the cats there at the Cali Craft Brewing Company. It's called the Cool Kids Juicy IPA. There's no stories on this one, no nothing. It's probably not like a limited distro beer or rare beer or anything like that. You guys probably do all sorts of stuff, but it looked good in the can. Looked good in the case and the cooler. Like that can. Can tell those are definitely some TK and Drinks colors. Got that neon pink, that neon blue. I've been down with them since they was popular in the 80s, back in the old TNC Surf Connection days and all that stuff. I mean, neon colors are where it's at. I guess you're a true 80s kid if you feel that way. Even though there wasn't like a lot of the neon. I feel like the neon mostly came in towards like the end of the 80s and more like into the early 90s and everything. But I definitely remember like having neon spandex shorts that I would wear when spandex were, you know, the thing to wear. When all the hard gangster dudes down in LA and stuff were all wearing those unitard looking things, looking like Eddie Murphy and the old was that in the Nutty Professor? Or if you saw Breakin' dressed like Turbo from Breakin', you know, with the yeah, you know if you know. So, like I said, sucker for the neon colors. This one's not coming out too hazy or anything like that. It's just called a Juicy IPA, so I imagine there's just going to be a lot of juicy hops in there. Who knows what kind of hops they used either. Probably Walnut Creek, California. I have no clue where that's at. Probably something nondescript. It smells fairly decent though. It definitely smells juicy, like orange juice almost. Got some on my nose. That is about what I was expecting. Kind of flat. Well, not flat, like obviously not flat, but like kind of flat, boring flavor wise. Light on the hop characteristics in there. This is an easy drinker, daily driver for somebody who's looking for just a nice mellow beer to drink. But it is 7.2%. I'll tell you that. You guys are making a 7.2%. That certainly does not taste like that. It's definitely drinking more like a Bud Light, you know, something in the 4.5 to 5% range. Nice and smooth. Not a whole lot of haze to it. Definitely got some, but yeah, it's fairly decent, juicy. Yeah, fairly decent, juicy IPA. Walnut Creek is up by Sacramento. Oh, good looking out, thank you. Yeah, I have not had too many breweries, I don't believe, from the Sacramento area. Not that there aren't any up there. I'm sure there's some really kick-ass places up there. Just there's so many breweries and so many awesome places to visit and to check out. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to them all, which is kind of unfortunate. Man, this light is hot on my face. I was not this bright earlier. So, yeah, so that's what we're getting into tonight on TK and Drinks. Welcome, Tap Savvy. Thank you for popping in momentarily, if not for a while. And yeah, so this week, getting into, what did we have? So we had New Year's that happened over the weekend. Obviously, that was a big That was a big to do around here. Our freaking neighbors were lighting off fireworks probably till about 1:30 in the morning. They started at about 8:45, but yeah, it started off kind of like a slow roar and then turned into an absolute shit show. This is probably one of the loudest New Year's Eves I've heard in a number of years. Like, memorable history. Like, I don't even remember it being this bad back in like the 90s when, you know, shit was popping off and nobody cared about anything like that. Um, yeah, but I mean, it sounded like what I imagine a war zone would, you know, start leaning in that direction. Just constant barrage of different sounds of explosions from different distances away. But, ooh, man, that one's definitely carbonated. But it was definitely not for not for me. Our dog was running around the house, pacing up and down the hallway, and the cats were kind of freaking out and whatnot. You know, I used to be pretty big into fireworks. I definitely enjoy them on the 4th of July. I was never a big New Year's Eve fireworks person. In fact, I can probably count on one hand the number of New Year's Eves I've stayed up and like actually participated in festivities since I was 21. Yeah, I just, it's just another day. I really don't care about that. I'll take the days off of work. Now, don't get it twisted like that. I'll take them days off work. But as far as like a holiday is concerned, it's just another arbitrary day. As far as I'm concerned, New Year's on my birthday. You know, that's when I start my New Year. I say once a year, every New Year's on my birthday. It's a New Year for me. So it's, you know, it's an arbitrary date they just chose. Calendar, blah 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 blah. Stop lighting off fireworks in the middle of the fucking night, please. You're driving my dog nuts. You're driving my cats crazy. You're torturing the vets. Like, I understand if you have a necessity to shoot some fireworks off, it's you're right as an American to go do that. But man, please be considerate and choose your spots that you do it wisely and stuff like that. Be considerate of your neighbors, because fireworks again till 1:30 in the morning, I think, is a bit on the excessive side for in the middle of the city. You know, I mean, you're gonna burn this place. It's Phoenix, man. You're gonna burn this place down. Now, granted, we did have a ton of, actually, it was pouring down rain on New Year's Eve, so that's probably why the people were out there doing it in ruckus, because this is actually the first time it's rained this time of year since I've been here, and that's been 15 or 16 years now. Well, since 2006. So, when it's 21 now, so yeah, we're looking at, you know, 14 years. And this is the first time it was raining on New Year's Eve, so maybe that's why everybody was out there getting buck wild, because they weren't afraid of burning the city down. I don't know. I just wasn't into it. Definitely not my thing. So, and what else? Back to work, normal schedule. I had an the wife really had an interesting experience with the, with our older son. Kind of, a one-off thing. We try not to like shame our kids. Not to say shame them. Like, they definitely know what shame is, but we try not to like embarrass our kids. Maybe even embarrass it. No, we definitely try to embarrass our kids. We don't try to dumb our kids down by not telling them the truth about things. That's what it is. Yeah. So, you know, our kids are very. We got 9 and 12, and they're both probably more aware of things for their age than most kids are, and so my older son is 12, and there was an experience. My wife was telling him a story about why he was asking about why her brothers don't come around and her experience with her brothers and stuff, and you know, they got into this conversation about you know, what pornography was and what magazines were and stuff, and it ended up coming out that her brother, when he was like 15 or 16, he ended up getting in trouble for having, you know, dirty magazines. And she was trying to explain to him, and she's like, well, he got in trouble for basically playing with his wiener. And he's like, huh, you get in trouble for playing with your wiener? That sucks. I play with mine in the shower. And it was just like the fact that he was just so open and willing to share that was just absolutely, I mean, I know it's probably something a little too much, and I'm sure this comes with the embarrassing the fuck out of your kids part, but sometimes you got to do it. But I was like super enjoying the fact that he was cool enough to come and just not have any bits about it. He's just like, you know what, I do my thing in the shower, everybody else does their thing, and he just, again, it's really kind of besides the point, but it was more of like the fact that the kid is that cool with us that he understands where we're at. We understand where he's at. You know what? It is what it is. I love that kid to death. Well, I see my viewer count drop, so definitely scared people off with that conversation. But it's TK and Drinks, beers and bullshit. I talk about and bullshit about whatever I want, so sorry if it makes you uncomfortable. Actually, no, I'm not sorry if it makes you uncomfortable. Because that's my life, so deal with it. What else is going on in the world of TK and Drinks? So we had that happening. Back to work. Got the Christmas decorations broke down. The only thing we have left up is still got the lights up. Haven't been putting them on, turning them on, but this is actually probably the year we did the least amount of light activity. I think we got them up kind of late. I don't think I got them up until December this year, and then stopped doing them. I think the last time I did them was on New Year's Eve. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, because where we got them plugged in is kind of a pain in the ass, and it was kind of difficult to deal with it. So I didn't make it a point to go plug them in as much as I should have. But you know, it is what it is. It's how things go. So, man, the more I drink this, I'm really not. It warms up. Definitely not caring for it as much. It's whatever. I mean, yeah, no, it's definitely better than a Bud Light or a Coors or something. I'll give you that. Whoa, now my computer's trying to load. Whoa, no. Have a little soundtrack going on in the background, some Queen Herbie soundtrack. Hey, anybody, if you didn't see my thing last week, you need to go get yourself onto some Queen Herbie, because her music is the business, especially if you're into, you know, hip hop, electronica type stuff. Yep. Let's see what else we got going on. We got the new TK and Drinks review for Manic Meaderies, PB&J. Bam! PB&J. Or no, Bam! Peanut butter and jam. That's what it was. That stuff was so good. Grapey, roasted peanuts, just like decadent, like the most decadent peanut butter and jelly sandwich you had. Type. It even had like a tiny hint of like bready yeastiness in there. See here. Remember how many plug-ins we had in Bonnie Lake? Oh yeah, we had. Yeah, so the house I grew up in when I was a kid was a big, large 2-story house. Well, large like footprint-wise 2-story house, and had probably, Mama says about 6 plug-ins. I know there was at least 2 on the bottom floor and 2 on the top floor, based on everything. So yeah, I'd say at least 4 plugs. It definitely could have been 6. I don't quite remember, but man, it looked like the mothership. That's what my dad always called it anyway. It was this single row of pink lights around the bottom and a single row of purple pinkish lights around the top. And they were meticulously all pointed in the same direction, so it looked very uniform. So when you had it plugged in, it kind of just looked like this. I don't know, something you see how like Close Encounters of the Third Kind or something. It looked like this red orb thing was kind of landing down on the ground. It was wild, but unfortunately, I don't have any pictures of that. I don't believe, but it was definitely cool looking nonetheless. So. Yep, so got those Christmas lights to take down here still. Like I said, got all the other decorations taken down. And, that actually went pretty quick this year. But, well, I didn't have to do any of it. And have to. Wasn't told to do any of it. Mama Bear, Mama Lauren takes care of all that stuff. She's the decorating master. She has everything, a place for everything and everything in its place. Even when we reorganize everything, even when we reorganize the living room, everything still happens to have a place, even though she's never put the stuff there before. Yeah, decorating is definitely not my forte, but she always makes it look wonderful at Christmas time. The kids love it. They got those little ceramic houses and everything like that. I got a whole freaking village that spreads across our fireplace mantle, and then up onto we got these shelves on the wall, and they go up there. It's like this whole Christmas scene village thing going on. It's pretty cool, I have to admit. It was definitely on the cool side when they started putting it together. And then they made it a point this year they have a beer truck, like a food truck, but it was a beer truck. So they got the beer truck part to add to the Christmas town. Usually we pick a bunch of them up a good chunk of them up after Christmas on their, when everything goes on clearance. But that did not happen this year. I'll tell you what, we went in there one time and they had a full thing, and I said, you know what, let's hold off. Nothing's on sale right this second. They're all full price. Let's wait till they come down, like we usually do. And the next time we went in there, it was wiped out. They had the beer truck and like some loose trees and some like little loose figures and stuff, and that was it. They had no buildings. They had no nothing. So I mean, I guess that was kind of had to do with the whole. I'm guessing it had to do with the container ship backup. The delay and all the stuff that they were talking about, because there was definitely not a huge delay. And I mean, if you wanted stuff, there was stuff to buy. It wasn't like every store had empty shelves for holiday season, but there was definitely some particular holes that were unable to get refilled and everything. I think that's more of what it was. It's like once it's gone off the shelf, we're not going to be able to replenish it, because who knows when the back stock's coming in. So got all that crunched away, and now we've made it through to the other side, and here we are, 2022. And like I said, if anybody didn't catch my last one, TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live, before my last one of last year, I was talking about how resolutions, you should make resolutions. A lot of people like fall through on the resolutions. So if you wanted to, like, one of the things I was trying to do this year, I'd heard somewhere and I wanted to, try it out, was to resolve to do something that I know I was never going to do in the first place. Like, I think my resolution this year was to put on 75 pounds. Now, I know there's no way in hell I'm putting on 75 pounds, because I'm trying to do everything that I'm doing to not put on 75 pounds. So I'm okay failing at that resolution. So kind of like threw a little reverse flip around at it. Like I was saying, I don't really take much stock in New Year's anyway. Although I do have to say one thing that I thought was kind of a neat idea that I did one time many years ago, probably 15, 16 years, well, maybe not quite that long ago, about 15 years. I think it was my second year here, or my first year here in Phoenix. When New Year's Eve came around, the girl I was with, we had decided that for the year, I think we wrote down all the major holidays that we wanted to celebrate, and we wrote them down on pieces of paper and like put them in a hat, and then started pulling them out. And whatever order we pulled them out in was the order that we were going to celebrate them in, but we were going to celebrate them on the days of the holidays that were in there. So like, let's say we had like, Valentine's Day, Easter, and 4th of July, and, Thanksgiving and Halloween. Say, okay, so first one that comes up is Valentine's Day. So we pull out, the first one we pulled out was Halloween. So instead of on Valentine's Day celebrating Valentine's Day, we were going to celebrate Halloween on Valentine's Day. And then we pull out the next one. I think the next holiday we had was St. Patrick's Day. We ended up pulling out, it's like Christmas. All right, so cool. Now we're doing Christmas again on St. Patrick's Day. This is going to be buck wild. I think we made it through like 2 or 3 holidays, and kind of, if we gave up on it or if it just kind of faded away. I actually can't quite remember what. Actually, I do remember what happened. I think we ended up getting pregnant with my oldest son, so that kind of all went by the wayside. But yeah, I thought it was a cool concept, and I think it was something that might float around there on the internet some days. Like, hey, have arbitrary thoughts about holidays? Try this cool thing out, and just to see if you could get a group of people to all, like, your group of friends to all get together and celebrate holidays on different days. Something to do, you know what I mean? Add a little twist to your year or something like that. I'll tell you what, though, one of the things I do have planned for January, as it's already January 4th, 4 days in, is this January, I let the mama bear have the kitchen through November and December to get her baking and holiday cooking done and everything. Now that that's all done, I'm booting her out of the kitchen for a day, and I am getting my mead bottled up. I've been sitting on it. It's been in secondary for 3 months now. It was been ready to bottle up since about, well, I guess I shouldn't say been ready to bottle up. It's been out of primary into post fermentation for about, I want to say I pulled it out in the beginning of October, so the November to November. So I've been sitting on it for about 3 months. I think it's ready to go in the bottles. It's been getting smoother and smoother. It's gone from like a harsh alcohol to like a nice warming alcohol. It's got a nice sweetness to it. I think it's ready to go in the bottles, and be sitting ready for the homies to show up and start drinking it with the people that I want to get opinions from, because I'm gonna be a mead maker. I can dawdle and I can dance around it all I want, but it's pretty much gonna happen. There's not gonna be any stopping it at this point. So I'm getting the itch to get that mead out of that jug, clear up all my jugs, wash them all out, and get another brew fermentation going. I can technically get one going because I do have an empty bottle, an empty 1 gallon carboy. I don't know if it's a carboy, if it's 1 gallon. I think it just might be a 1 gallon jug. I don't know if the term carboy specifically refers to like one of those 5 or 6 gallon, looks like a glass thing that you would put in like a water cooler. I don't know if that's technically a carboy, or if anything, or maybe carboy is a brand of filter. I don't know. You'd think that somebody's in my position that doing as much with mead as I'm doing, that I would, intentionally look these things up and know these things. But yeah, no, that's not really the stuff that's super concerning to me. The technical definition of what's a carboy and what's not. You got a fermentation vessel. That's the most technical term. I'm going to call it that. I got a 6 gallon glass fermentation vessel. Is it a carboy? I don't fucking know if it's a carboy. It's a 6 gallon fermentation vessel made out of glass, and it's dope as fuck. But I did see, I have to admit, and I thought it was a pretty unique video. I don't really squawk about the other YouTube guys so much. Well, the other guys that don't do quite what I'm doing. So there's 2 other cats out there, Doing the Most and Man-Made Mead. I like the guys that do it. I don't have anything against Garrett, and I don't know what Doing the Most's name is. I don't have anything against them dudes. They're cool. They're doing their own thing. I'm doing my thing. It's all cool. I don't really watch a lot of their stuff because I'm not super into homebrewing. I think they get into some super technical stuff. I might start watching their stuff the more I get into it. But Doing the Most had a video, I want to say, within the last 3 months. And it was about glass carboys. Apparently there was a thing where they were shattering. People were having like the bottoms of them blow out or developing like large cracks in them and all this stuff. And they were saying it was because of he had this whole video about it. It's like a half-hour long, 25-minute long video about all this stuff, and it basically comes down to where the glass was made, where the jugs were made. Some of them were made in like the original old school carboys, I guess, were like Italian glass, and they're the ones that have like really thick glass that doesn't break. Those are the old school ones that if you get one that's like from an antique store, if it's been around like a long time, a while, you go in from like passed down, it's probably legit. Now, if you get one that's been bought within the past couple years, I guess, and if you bought off like an Amazon or something, now those are the ones you got to look out for. So Doing the Most had this video where he made his own, I cannot remember what the hell the name of this thing was, some sort of scope. But basically he made this thing where he had like a flashlight and some, I can't remember how he set this thing up, but he basically built this freaking scope thing. I think you have to have like a LCD TV to do it and all stuff. But he made this scope, hooked up a camera up to it, and he would pass his carboys in front of this camera, and it would show different colors on the monitor, and the different colors in the glass were basically, think about like predator vision, or like heat vision. You're looking at the carboy and it's all basically one uniform color. You look at the Italian glass one and it's all this like kind of uniform bluish, purplish, cold color. And then when you looked at one of the other ones, one of these ones that they bought off of Amazon or whatever, you could see it was like most of it was that kind of color. And then there would like be patches that would like fade into like green to yellow to orange, like almost like it was hot, like it was catching, like it was warmed up or something. And what he was saying was that those are basically inclusions and weak spots in the glass. Now I can't remember if he was saying that these were coming from China or if they were coming from Mexico, but he was saying that they were coming from somewhere that's not Italy, which I guess is where you want to get the carboys from, because those are like the old school, full, thick, good, nice 5-6 mil glass all the way around. It's going to be able to retain that, retain the pressure and the heat and everything that might happen that's in there. So I just thought it was a really cool sciencey video, and that's what I do enjoy about Doing the Most videos, is he's always got something that's a little bit on the technical side. Like I said, I don't watch a whole bunch of them. I'm really big, they're kind of doing their own thing. But I did enjoy that one. I thought that was one that was worth watching. So if you're interested in glass integrity and the integrity of carboys, certainly go watch his video about that, because it was it was really intriguing. And you know, I'm a freaking nerd for sciencey stuff. My favorite shows when I was growing up were always Discovery Channel shows. I mean, other than like, you know, The Simpsons and In Living Color and stuff like that. But educational program, man. Discovery Channel, TLC, back when it was actually the Learning Channel and not just like reality shows, you know, all that type of stuff. Anything I could get through educational programming. Bill Nye was one of my favorites. Ooh, excuse me. It was awesome. Oh, we got some comments coming here. Mom says, they say less than 40% of New York resolutions are kept, of New Year's resolutions are kept for 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't know anybody who keeps a resolution. I've already broke my resolution to gain 75 pounds. I mean, it might go through the whole year if I don't plan on getting that much bigger, but fuck, maybe I could totally went sideways on this thing. Who knows? Tony says, I've seen really thin ones at my local Bruce supply store here. I don't bother getting anything like that at those stores. We have water guys that drive around selling water jugs, and they have some glass ones. I get mine from them. They are super tough. See? Man, you're the man living down there in the heart of Mexico where they're making these, you know, potentially suspect glass. You know, it's just what I've heard. I haven't bought anything, so I don't really know. You're saying they're cheaper with water in it, and it's probably got decent water in it. You know, I mean, maybe not for making mead, but certainly for fucking at least drinking. I just don't know what the, you know, if you're looking out for a certain type of mead. But hey, if that's got water in it and it's got good water for making mead, that's a win-win. You're buying them for a cheaper price, and you're getting your water to make decent mead with it. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and make a bold assumption, but I'm guessing Tony isn't pulling tap water to make his mead with there in Guadalajara. I could be wrong. Could be completely wrong, and looking like an asshole right now. When I'm okay with that. But my guess is probably not. I don't fucking use tap water here in Phoenix. Are you kidding me? There's no fucking chance I would use Phoenix tap water to make anything close to mead. That stuff has got so much fucking chlorine in it. I mean, it smells like it smells like a baby, like you just got out of a swimming pool when you put your nose up to when it's coming down. It's got so much algae killer and stuff in it. So, oh God, no, not tap water. Yeah, I can't think of anybody who would be using any tap water. Like, maybe if you were up in Washington State or like up near Canada or something, or somewhere where you were on a well and you had the water tested and you had what your mineral content was, then I could see somebody using quote unquote tap water to do their meats. But yeah, no city punch. There's no way I'm turning on my faucet here in Phoenix and making water or making meat out of this water. It's going to be just funk nasty. So there is that. But it's good to know that it seems that he's at least doing the most is onto something here. It says cheaper with water in it. Hell yeah, give the crappy ones to the States is our motto. You know what, Tony? We probably got that coming. I'll take that as a yeah, I'll take that. We got that coming. So I did have another beer tonight because, again, this was only a little 12-ounce can that I picked up. Oh, man. Not here in these 120-year-old farm. Oh, hell no. Yeah, no, my mom living over in the San Joaquin Valley in Central California. No, all those wells are that's all clay and old like you said, farming well. Who knows where that groundwater is coming from there? And there's so much freaking pesticide runoff and all that stuff. There's not a chance I would even come close to using any of that tap water for mead. No. So, but yeah. So anyway, picked up a second beer because that one was a little one, and I'm kind of a glutton for beer at times. This one, the Leave No Trace Triple IPA from Beer Tree Brewing. Now, I can't remember. I may have done this one on this channel before because I definitely had this one other time. I'm trying not to splash it everywhere, but if memory serves, this one was pretty legit. Kind of in the same category as the other one, where it felt like it was like punching under its class. You know what I mean? Like, this is a 10%, and if memory serves, it did not hit like a 10%. I feel like it was more like a something like your more daily driver IPA, something more like a 7%. Because there's a lot of 10% IPAs out there that have kind of a boozy taste to them. Certainly when you get into the stouts, they can really take on that like harsh alcohol characteristic to them. Because a lot of people have been putting out stouts early. Like if you're gonna age something, like if you could have something that's like really hot, like I don't understand why you wouldn't like let it sit there. I guess there are some people that like that, like they want their beer to taste like liquor. And I'm not one of those cats. Like if you take like a nice stout and age it in a bourbon barrel, I want it to have the bourbon barrel character to it. I want it to have those like notes, the harmony of the bourbon. I'm not trying to have it taste like I just took a shot of bourbon flavored rubbing alcohol and it's like, this is, who the fuck wants that? Well, I've come to find out there are people who are like, man, this doesn't have enough alcohol burn. Me about being a liquor guy, I've never really been a big liquor drinker. So I guess I'm not really in that boat. But anytime you can get a beer that's like 10% and it doesn't taste, anything, you can get a mead that's 10-15% and doesn't taste like alcohol, doesn't have that harsh phenolic alcohol type taste, doesn't taste like rubbing alcohol, but it has like that warming alcohol sensation. You know you got something with alcohol in it, but it doesn't taste that way. Man, that's when it's at. That's when it's at its best, I should say. So, see if we can't get this all poured in here. Nice, fluffy, pillowy, marshmallowy head. Nice and tall. Is it gonna spill? Is it gonna spill? Do. It's coming down the backside. Over by me. Come on. Nope, just like two. It's like tearing. Oh no. Oh no. Nope, I grabbed the wrong one. This is not the one I was thinking of. So this one totally has a funky alcohol taste to it. Beer Tree. Again, no story. Johnson City, New York. There's a lot of like. New York is like a happening spot for the brew world right now. I'm cool as fuck. Store me at 38 degrees Fahrenheit, please. See, now that type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that scares me. When it specifically tells me to keep it stored that low, like any of the ones that are like, hey, serve it, 50, 55 degrees, that I understand. Something want me to suppress it all the way down to 38 degrees. I mean, that's basically, hey, get this thing as cold as you can and drink it while it's cold because it's got some really funky and off flavors and you don't want to discover those before when it gets warm. So do your best to drink it cold. I guess it's not funky. It's just not as good as I wanted it to be when I picked it up. I mean, it's got kind of a cool can. I like that logo. I always like those like stylized hops. There's a lot of people that use that kind of like, let's say comic book type of style, but like this type of, square line, very, lots of hard, let's say harsh, but hard lines and stuff like that. Type of hop logo. Got this cool jungle on the can, like that. Leave no trace. And then it just kind of fades off, just like this other one, the Cool Kids. There's a lot of So what's y'all's opinion on that? I guess that's what I should really be asking. My opinion, if there's somebody out there that has a flashy ass can, let me pose the question first, and I guess I'll give my opinion. If somebody's got a flashy can or flashy label, flashy artwork, is that indicative of it being a crappy product? Are they covering up? Are they making up for, having a shitty beer by having a really cool label and artwork and everything? Plenty of people out there. Look at all these bottles back here. Some fucking dope ass artwork. I mean, look at this one here from Cult Mead. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Cult Mead. If you didn't, go check it out. Brian and Jen from Cult Mead up in Tacoma, Washington. Some of the dopest fucking cats. They make some of the killerest meads. But I mean, look at that fucking artwork. Somebody put some fucking time and effort into that. And this is a phenomenal product. Oh, what's up, Gabe? Thanks for stopping by, homie. Appreciate that. I mean, these guys make some freaking phenomenal mead. And they got some dope-ass artworks. Looks like a 1990s or early 2000s like metal album, and it's a phenomenal product. But then, like I said, you get cats like these guys here. Cool looking logo. Cool colors. See, look, even their hop was freaking... Yeah, exactly. Sweet artwork and a subpar product. So, again, poses my question. If you see cool artwork, does it say to you they're using that cool artwork to cover up something, or it's got cool artwork and it's got a cool product inside of it? I personally think more often than not, the cooler the artwork, the lamer the product on the inside. But I think, unfortunately, in this situation, you kind of have to dive a little bit deeper, because there are breweries out there that just have a specific style to their stuff, and you may not like their artwork style, but their stuff is phenomenal all the time. And it's the other way around too. There's guys out there that got really lame artwork all the time. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like Wren House's artwork. The local place here in Phoenix, they have some kind of stupid fucking looking cans. I mean, they got their whole Wally series, which is, I'm assuming, I haven't read fully into it, but they've got it was somebody's dog named Wally. He was like a golden doodle or something, kind of a curly haired looking standard large sized dog, cool looking dog. But the cans are all these like kind of goofy, cartoony looking things. But the fucking beers are usually pretty fucking legit. So, you got ugly can, decent beer. And here we go, Beer Tree. I like the can. I love the fucking artwork on there. Feels like I've seen this before. I think 903 out of Texas has the same type of similar on their can, on their Squatch cans. But I like it. But again, at 10%, it tastes decent, but it's just not my favorite. I would much rather have a 10% from Tombstone or Kitsune. Man, God, if Kitsune made a frickin' a 10% frickin' triple IPA, God, I'd frickin' think I might fill the cup, if you know what I mean. There's another one. If y'all ain't know, Kitsune Brewing opening up a spot here in 2022, 32nd Street and Bell Road. I believe that was the southeast corner, one of the southern corners of that intersection. If you're here in Phoenix, definitely be scoping them out. Head up to Simple Machine Brewing up on Deer Valley and 7th Ave? No. Deer Valley and Central, I believe. 7th Ave. Somewhere in there. Up on Deer Valley. Scope them out. Hit up... Kitsune was co-brewing there for a long time. And I think he still technically is until he gets his own... his brewery up and running. But scope those cats out. That Kitsune makes some great stuff. But I'd much rather drink a local 10% triple IPA than this one from Beer Tree. But I bought it, so I'm going to drink it. Again, it's not terrible. It's just not my favorite. It seems kind of, I don't know, boring. Again, it's got that heavy, undesirable, like rubbing alcohol, raw alcohol type of taste to it at the front. Not like barrel aged, like I was saying, not like a bourbon-y, not like vodka or gin. Just like, it almost like breathes out like you'd accidentally fucking took like some rubbing alcohol on a sponge or a cotton ball and like got it near your mouth and it's like, oh, what the fuck was that? It's not pleasant, but I'm gonna fucking drink it. You believe that? I'm not gonna throw this away. I don't do hashtag drain pour. Fuck that shit. I think that's some scandalous stuff. But nonetheless, where are we at here? 6:40. Oh man, it's been a wild week as far as that goes. So like I said, if you haven't watched the TK and Drinks new review for the mead, Manic Meaderies, bam, peanut butter and jam, the grape. Go scope that one out. That is a great mead, and it is still on sale on their website. I'm telling you, that is a 375 bottle of some phenomenal mead. It's $18 plus shipping, obviously, if you're going to have it shipped out here. Grab 2 or 3 of them. Make it worth your shipping. I almost guarantee you, I take that back. I do guarantee you, you buy bottles from Manic Meadery and you do not like them, I will pay you for the remainder of your bottle. I'll put that out there now. Anybody who sees this in the future, you grab a bottle of Manic Meadery, you don't like it, you hit up TK and Drinks. We will work out a way for me to pick up that bottle and get that bottle from you opened before it goes bad. I don't care if you live in another state. I will figure something the fuck out, or we'll work something out. because I'm that big of a proponent for Manic Meadery. Ever since Ancient Fire closed, these cats at Manic became my favorite spot. I don't get to distribute their stuff, unfortunately. I'm going to be working on that, trying to talk to Tony now that they're getting into a bigger space. Maybe we can bring some Manic out here to Phoenix. It would be a great thing to put on the shelves alongside Birmingham Horn and Space Time Mead and Cider Works and Opagard. I think if I had Manic in there as well, I would be a pretty well-rounded mead distributor and would have some serious clout in the game. So, but like I said, $18 for that bottle. Most of those 375 bottles from some of those guys. I mean, he's got 200 ml bottles that are going for $40. So you got an $18 bottle. And when I was talking to Tony at Mazer Cup, I'll just give you a little behind the scenes. He was kind of surprised that it was even like doing his thing. He didn't even really want to do a peanut butter and jelly thing, but he saw how well they were doing, decided to do one, and his is doing really well. And there's other ones like if you were trying to get like a Garagiste out of Florida, they're in Tampa. Again, another sugar bomb, berry bomb type mellow. Their peanut butter and jelly mead, Reboog, I believe is what it's called. They have like a whole Reboog series. Those ones are 375 bottles are like $45, $55. Again, I haven't had their stuff. I hear it's really good. $55 for 12 ounces good? Not quite sure. But I think that, I guess what I'm saying is, okay, even look at peanut butter jelly crime here from Superstition here in Arizona. It's a 750 bottle. It's a large bottle, but it's still $40. So, I mean, you're looking at, or $45. So you're still looking at over a $20 bottle. If you were to, split it in half down to a 375, you're still looking at a $22 bottle, and his are $18. Now, like I said, I understand you got to have them shipped out and everything like that. But do yourself a favor, pick up some Manic Meadery and enjoy life with a bottle of it at your side. So check it out. I'm not sure if I did this last week or not, but all the meads that I had picked up for Christmas, this is one of the ones. So check this out. This is, see that right there? 200 milliliters. I don't know if you can see that or not. Stupid camera, focus right there. Or no, focus there. Focus there. Focus there. Fine. 200 milliliter bottle. Manic Meadery, Standard Meadery collab. This is the Burning Down the House. This is okay, Tony, check this out. I don't know what you know about all honeys, but this is a Bowshade Tupelo honey. Tony boiled his Tupelo honey. I guess this is like Manuka honey type of prices. We're talking $30 a pound, something like that. Like some ridiculous priced honey. Bowshade it, bourbon barrel aged it for 11 months. And there's a collab between Standard Meadery and Manic Meadery and Standard Meadery. So I need to get my ass to Standard Meadery, which is in Michigan, if memory serves, and see if I can't get some of those cats to sign that bottle, because I got Tony to sign that bottle. I don't know. I'm kind of a nerd. I know some people are like, why do you give a fuck if the mead maker signs your bottle? Like, look, man, this is what I do. These people that I've talked to in interview are like, I say like heroes to me, but they're like heroes to me, man. These people are super cool. They're doing some really kick-ass, making some really kick-ass products. Like, I don't understand. Okay, so here's one thing I don't understand. If we want to get into like the behind the scenes of it all, there's so many home brewers out there that don't want to give commercial mead makers any shine. Like, they don't want to give any commercial mead makers any attention. If you're a commercial mead maker, you're a sellout, or like, you must not make quality product because you have to sell it commercially. Like, it seems like this whole negative Nancy type of quality people are putting out there towards commercial mead makers, which I think is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Because, like, if you're home brewing and like you're going out of your way to make labels and call yourself a meadery, you got on the label program and you did your labels up for your bottles, and you're the one sitting there posting on, man-made mead makers or micro meads or mead brewers and enthusiasts or modern mead makers. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're posting on these things as a home brewer and you're going out of your way to make labels on this stuff, and you make yourself look like a commercial meadery, but you're gonna sit here and slam commercial meaderies for putting out, subpar products and all this stuff. Like, why? Like, why are you imitating somebody that you don't support? Now, like, not necessarily any one person in particular. It's like, why are you imitating the industry that you don't support? If you don't support whatever, I have a bad time coming up with an analogy for that. If you don't support hip hop music, why would you make hip hop music and then slam other people for making hip hop music? It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Because they're competition. Yeah, that's true. I mean, technically, legally, here in America anyway, these cats that are posted on this stuff, if they're selling any of their stuff, they're breaking the law. They're going behind. There might be laws or regulations in place about, if you make less than a certain amount or you sell less than a certain amount, you don't have to report anything. But like, as far as my understanding of the laws, like, if you sell alcohol, anything with like a consumable alcoholic product here in America, you have to be registered with the TTB. The government wants a portion of their fucking money. They don't care what you're selling. They want their fucking money. You could sell alcohol with chocolate or chocolates with alcohol in them. If it's got liquor in it, that's a reportable amount. You have to report that to the TTB and tell them how much money you made and how much you sold, how much liquor went, where to go, where to come from. It's a fucking... So for these cats to be out there making their stuff on the DL and then selling it to friends and to, they certainly wouldn't be able to sell it through any like quote unquote retail outlets. Now they can sell it through their Facebook page, or they can sell it through, some sort of app or dark web or whatever they want to fucking go through. But those cats are, man, they're running a risky line doing that shit. And I have like internal qualms about that. I doubt I'd really like dime anybody off for that. I'm not going to turn anybody in because that's not really my style. You do you, and if you can run behind the law and not get caught, you know what? I guess you're the one who's lucky today. There's been plenty of times when I did stupid shit and didn't get caught by the law, as I think a lot of us have. So, you do you, but at no point am I going to go out of my way to support your efforts to compromise the integrity of the mead industry. There's so many people out there that are trying to make the mead industry a legitimate, profitable... I'm not trying to go as far as like Superstition or like Moonlight or places that are, trying to take it on a global scale, which is cool. They do their stuff. Mead Shine. Yeah, exactly. Mead Shiners. Fantastic, Mom. I love that word. I'm totally stealing that. I'll give you the credit whenever I can. I haven't heard it from maybe somebody else came up with it first, but this is the first place I've heard it, so you get the credit. Mead Shine. Absolutely. These Mead Shiners out there are, running a risk for everybody. Taking away integrity from the business. Like I said, you got some places like Shram's, Superstition, Moonlight Meadery, I think Big Lost out of Wyoming is in like South Korea now or something like that. But there's meaderies, American meaderies, that are finally are making the leap to being international. Like I use Superstition. These guys make, in my personal opinion, okay products. They have some really nice stuff. I think the vast majority of their widely distributed stuff probably could be better. But based on the volumes that they have to make, they have to work with the ingredients that they can get. And unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised if they were using baker's honey for some of their stuff. Now, I can't confirm that. That's just my own personal opinion. And if anybody doesn't know, baker's honey is basically like the lowest quality honey. It's not from any like floral variety. It's basically just, here's honey. Is it honey? Yes, it's honey. Not honey. It's actually honey. But, pretty much bottom barrel. And by the volume that these guys are making things, like, if you're making... God, I can only imagine how much peanut butter and jelly crime these guys are making. I mean, I see cases and cases of this stuff at places all around town. And I know they distribute it not just here. I mean, they have to be making thousands of gallons of this stuff. And it just popped in your head. Nice. And I guess what I'm saying is like the quality of their product is suffering from the volume that they're making. They can't get the same quality. they can't get the same volume of quality honey that they used to get when they were making it in smaller batches, and now that they're making it in big batches. But that aside, their stuff looks nice. They have a very nice design. They have really well put together product, like marketing and all that type of stuff. These guys are trying to do the mead industry a positive service, even if it is self-serving, because they want to sell more mead themselves, and they seem to be, they're leading the charge as we're positive mead makers. What they are doing in that same fact is leaving a wake behind of ripples that now more people know about mead. Now there's people out there, hey, the first mead that we heard of is Superstition because they just brought it to us. I don't really care for it, but now I'm aware of what mead is, and now I can start looking for other stuff. So through their global domination, expansion, whatever you want to call it, they're certainly advocating for the brand in a positive light. So as much as I don't care for a lot of the stuff that they do, I'm definitely going to give credit where credit is due, and that is there, because those cats, I don't care what anybody says at this point. Nobody is advocating for mead harder than the cats that are taking this shit worldwide. These cats are advocating for mead on scales and levels that I could only dream about, so to speak. Like I said, these guys have national distribution, they have regional distribution people, they have worldwide distribution. I mean, these guys are doing it big. Now, I don't necessarily want to be on the same scale they are, but they're definitely at the level I want. I would love to be able to bring in some meaderies from Japan and from Australia and from places around Brazil, Mexico. I mean, there's probably a ton of meads that would do really well here and just don't have that outlet or inlet. They don't have that channel to come here into America. Unfortunately, mead is ridiculously expensive when you're trying to buy it in volume and have to deal with shipping and customs and everything. You're making it here in the States, or you're making it here locally and selling it locally. Prices are very, very reasonable, especially when we start getting into the session stuff. Lower honey quality, not lower honey quality, lower honey volume per can and everything like that. They have big backers. That's a negative, Ghost Rider. That is actually a negative, Mom. That the pattern is not full. You are not clear for a flyby. Those guys, as far as I understand the situation, are pretty much they're like the one-man wrecking crew. Everything they do is all internal. Everything they do is all. Now they might have brought in some like outside consultants and stuff like that, but they don't have any like big alcohol backing them. Like they're not backed by Budweiser or Hensley or like Coors or anything like that. They are still at this level an independent organization, like Sam Adams for beer. Now Sam Adams, those guys are basically, as far as my personal opinion and from what I see on commercials and TV and everything when I do watch it, Sam Adams is basically like the largest microbrewery there is. And the last I had heard, and if I'm wrong, if somebody knows the information, please correct me. Last I had heard, they were accounting for roughly 1%, maybe slightly right around the 1% mark of total beer sales in the U.S. And Sam Adams, yeah. Businessman, yes, that they definitely have. Jeff there is a cutthroat businessman, nice guy, but when it comes down to it, he's a business-oriented guy, and his job is to make his brand succeed, and he does that very well, and I can't take anything away from him for that. Like I said, having talked to Carlos from Art of the Meadery, who used to be their head brewmaster, and having tried their stuff now versus then, and a couple things, I can see, again, my own personal opinion on the products and everything, I can see a difference in the quality. Like, it's one of those things that sounds corny, but I'm gonna go with this. Like, you can taste the love that was put into it. Like, Art of Them stuff, you might not like their particular flavor profile of what you have in front of you, but the quality of their product stands for the quality of their product. It tastes like it's gonna taste. Carlos you can taste the passion that he puts into his stuff. When you go to Superstition, the flavor might be there, but it doesn't have that X factor, that wow, that panache, that love that you get from some of these other meaderies. And I'll tell them that to their face if they ever wanted to come on. I mean, I've thought about reaching out to Jeff and see if he wanted to do an interview. I know he's done some interviews in the past, but like, I have to be honest. At this point, they have the best banana mead that I've ever had, straight banana. Now I have had the Bochet banana. My favorite mead is the Bochet banana, like Bananas Foster's one from Manic, but just the first like really good, like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal banana mead, Superstition. That was, I don't know how these dudes out here in the middle of the freaking mountains in the desert got into some legit banana mead, but they made one and I was on board with it. They even teamed up with a brewery in California, Anaheim area called Bottle Logic, and they made so Bottle Logic did a chocolate stout that was aged in the banana mead barrel. So it was like this chocolate banana flavored stout. Oh my Lanta, it is the best chocolate banana. I mean, I haven't had any chocolate banana beers, but I mean, just as far as best chocolate beer, best banana flavor, I mean, it was just so good. So I give, like I said, I'll give Superstition credit where credit is due. But like I said, when you're making brews by the thousands of gallons at a time, it's hard to keep the passion and the love inside it. It just is. It's all about the love and passion, no matter the craft. Exactly. You can see when, like, if you're on Etsy or if you're on, or even if you go to like a consignment, I call them like antique stores, but if you go to somewhere, where it's like a consignment store where everybody, has booths and they're selling their wares and everything like that, you can tell the people that are there just to put stuff there, and you can tell the people that really love their products that they make, and it shows. So yes, I agree with you 100%. The love and the passion, no matter the craft, shows through in the final product, and that's how it is. So, what did I get into? See, last week I did the peanut butter and jelly crime. Oh no, last week we did the Elliott blueberry. I'm not sure. I believe I opened that one on. I can't remember at this point. Maybe I didn't. So if anybody's here and makes it an hour into the video, I guess you're into a little insight. Get a little insight into the future of TK and Drinks. So we had the BAM peanut butter and jam review come out today. Next week, back down to 1 a week for these. Going to try to aim for 1 a week for the whole year. Fingers crossed, that's the aim going forward. Next week is going to be the Elliott, which is the straight up orange blossom honey and blueberry mead from Manic Meadery. It is their flagship mead. I believe I have the bottle of it here, still opened. And we're also going to be bringing again, this one was also signed by Tony, Manic Meadery's Blueberry Elliott, or the Elliott. So this is made with Elliott blueberries, which are like the main blueberry. So like you think about blueberries from Maine, that's the one. It's the Elliott blueberry. That's very stereotypical, large, light blue colored blueberry. That's your Elliott blueberries. So have that one. Which will be the next review coming out. Should be next Monday. This Monday was peanut butter and jelly. Next week's going to be the Elliott. And then coming up after that, oh man, actually we are doing a food pairing with that Elliott as well. So we're going to be a food pairing video. I'm not quite sure when that'll be coming out, but we're going to be shooting that here pretty soon as well. And be pairing the blueberry mead with, I don't know if I should tell y'all, but I'm going to. We paired it with some barbecue pork, some blueberry barbecue sauce, barbecued pork. Try to say all those B's at the same time. Blueberry sauce, blueberry barbecue sauce, barbecued pork, or pulled pork. Blueberry barbecue sauce, pulled pork. And then pairing that with the blueberry mead. So then after that, our next one is going to be, whoosh. Hope some people out there are getting crazy, getting excited. This is the Black Meadow. Now I was really debating on whether I should even open this one or not. It kind of what happens when you pick up 7 bottles from a meadery, and every single one of them is an A+ chart smashing banger. So this one is getting popped. We're going to be drinking. This is the Black Meadow. So this is a bourbon barrel, 12-month bourbon barrel aged meadow foam honey traditional, sweet traditional. So anybody who knows what meadow foam honey is, meadow foam honey tastes like toasted coconuts and marshmallows. I'd heard that before trying it, and I was like, okay, so it must taste ish like this. No. It tastes exactly 100% like coconut and toasted marshmallows, and then aged in bourbon barrels. I mean, and it's on the sweet leaning scale. It's 16.4%, 50% meadow foam blossom honey, 15% blackberry blossom honey, final gravity 0.1053, final pH 3.8. I'm telling you, this thing is phenomenal. I had this at the Mazer Cup, just a tiny little fucking pinch at the bottom of it was barely enough to coat my mouth, but I got the biggest smile. This is probably my second favorite one from them, behind that Banana Bochet one, and I did everything I can. I'm still looking. I will do my best to find one of those Banana Bochet bottles, and if nothing else, to show you all what it looks like, because I think it was phenomenal. But this is going to be the next one. I'll be doing a review on this one. I'm going to be doing the review on this one this week. Probably won't come out for a couple of weeks because I'm trying to be ahead. But this one is going to also have a food pairing with it. This one is going to be on the sweet side pairing. We're going to be pairing this one. And watch out for the video. We're going to be doing a food pairing video with this one. Incorporating the children this time, the kid folks, because we're going to be doing Daddy and Kids Rice Krispie treats to be paired with the marshmallow coconut blackberry blossom honey meadow foam honey bourbon barrel aged Black Meadow from Manic. So Rice Krispie treats and mead, barbecued pulled pork, blueberry barbecue sauce, and mead is going to be a great food and mead pairing. I'm so excited about this. My wife has this like culinary genius brain that I wish I could get into, but I most definitely don't have that skill, unfortunately. And don't believe it has anything to do with my mom. She taught me some cooking skills. I think it's just one of those things, like it's just not in me. The cooking gene, unfortunately, I think skipped over me, because I can read the box of I burn water when I boil it. It's bad. It's so bad. Do you the meaderies buy old bourbon barrels from breweries? It's a fantastic question, and it is 7:02, so we're gonna have to get to that next time. Y'all have a good. No, I'm just messing with you. Yeah. So from what I understand, the meaderies will get the bourbon barrels from a variety of places. They can get them directly from the distilleries. So I know there's been plenty of cats that have gone to like Maker's Mark or Wild Turkey, or Jack Daniels or whatever. They've gone to these larger places and just gotten barrels straight from them. There's places that specifically seek out certain types of barrels. Let's say there's a mead maker that's looking to produce a certain flavor profile. He'll seek out a bourbon barrel that had a specific type of stout that was aged in it, so then he can age his mead in it and pick up those certain flavor characteristics. So this one here that I picked up from, again, Manic Meadery, not to give them all the clout in the world, the Marion the Barbarian. This is a gold medal winner. This was a Marion Berry mead that was aged in not this particular one, but they had the same one that was aged in gin barrels, which I guess he got fresh from the local gin producer there in Indiana or something. So we got like a brand new gin barrels and put his meat in them. So and then I've seen some cats like the cats over at Scale and Feathers down here in Arizona. They picked up a barrel from one of the breweries here in town that makes the Bananarchy, a place called Oso. Actually, one of the tap houses picked up the barrel from the brewery, and then the tap house took the barrel to the meadery. And a tap house is basically the new term for beer. It's a beer bar. They sell beer and wine. They don't have any hard alcohol or anything like that. So basically just like a beer bar. They have, you know, like 25, 30 taps or whatever, and bottles of mead and wine. So the tap house ended up grabbing the bottle from Oso and then took it to the meadery and do a collab with it. So they're going to make a mead inside that barrel, and then when they pull it and sell it and label it and everything, it'll be, you know, they'll have the meadery's logo on there, then they'll have like the tap house's logo in the corner, and they'll have like a special thing for it and everything like that. So that's typically the way I see most of it going. But yeah, there are people out there that definitely pick up the barrels first straight from the distilleries. There's definitely people out there that pick them up second and third, fourth hand from, you know, as many times down the line. Unpossible, the guys that did the green tomato mead that I did last year and a half ago at this point. Holy cow. He was telling me, Brian was telling me that he picked up a barrel he was I think the fourth owner on it. Had originally started off as something, and somebody had aged something in it, and then somebody else had aged something in that, and now he'd got it, and it was just like 4 times. So it's going to have all these unique characteristics to it and everything. So and then there was the complete opposite realm of this is Moonlight Meadery up there in New Hampshire. Those cats did now I don't know, I mean, it's technically barrel aged, but they put a bunch of their stuff into steel, like kegs or barrels. They said stainless steel barrels. So I'm not, as somebody again who's not on that level as brewing, I'm not quite sure what that looks like. But they said they put it in stainless steel and aged it for like 10 years. They call it Utopia X or Utopian X. 10-year aged mead in a stainless steel barrel. Now, personally to me, that sounds like it's just basically been in a keg for 10 years. I understand the whole point of barrel aging stuff is to see what kind of characters that can be imparted on it from whatever the barrel is made out of. The wood, the liquors or beers or other things that were in there first prior to the mead. You know, whatever was in there, whatever is pulling from, even the raw stuff, you know, is putting the oak and everything into the whiskey when they have them fresh. They burn them out and all that stuff. What is the point of aging something in a steel barrel for 10 years? I mean, like I said, you could have just kegged it, and I understand kegs are pressurized and all that stuff, so it might be a little bit different. And I guess maybe that might be my downfall, without a greater understanding of the process. I might be making a fool of myself, which I'm okay. I do that all the time. But really, 10 years in a stainless steel barrel to see what it tastes like 10 years later. Now, I had a 10-year-old bottle-aged mead when I was up in Washington, or it was over 10 years old. Lauren and I it was a boysenberry mead that my buddy John Opegard from Opegard Meadery had from when he had first started, or I can't remember where he got it from, but it was 10 years old. It was phenomenal. It was great. It had all these unique characteristics, but it was something that was made and like, it was made to have all those characteristics in it. Like, this is just a traditional that was aged inside of a steel. I don't know what they're trying to get. Like, at $180 for a 375 bottle, $180 for basically 12 and a half, 13 ounces. If I ever get around to releasing the TK and Drinks Patreon thing where I, you know, do expensive meads, that's going to be certainly on the list. But yeah, I can't, without a greater understanding of the process, I can't justify spending something like that on that. So I am going to end up wrapping it up though. 10 after 7. Thank everybody for swinging by. Way back here, who all did we have today stopped by? We had Tap Savvy stop by. We had NK Meads. We had Hydromiel. Oh man. So I'm going to ask Tony, VBIKING, is that Spanish for Viking? Hydromiel Viking? I never took Spanish, so I'm not quite sure how a B is supposed to be pronounced, but it's hydromiel.vbiking. Thank you guys for showing up. Mom, obviously, Tony, thank you again. Always. NK Me's I Drink Beers Okay. Everybody who showed up. Gabe, y'all freaking cool. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Have a good night. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Also, per usual, if you got any suggestions, comments, questions, concerns, send them to tkandrinks@gmail. Hit me up here. Hit me up on Facebook. Love to know who you'd want to see on the show. Later, everybody.